The internet is in full meltdown mode right now after explosive claims surface, suggesting that Ignite test has confirmed Mendeecees Harris is the father. What if the rumors you've been ignoring suddenly turned out to be true? What if the person you trusted the most was hiding a child with someone you couldn't stand? Of Erica Mendeecees' youngest kid. And if that wasn't enough, there are rumors that Yandy Smith lost all control after hearing the news and attacked Erica in full during a private backstage moment. Although none of this has been verified, social media is ablaze with rumors. Up with alleged eyewitnesses, voice notes that have been leaked, and grainy images that fans say depict the entire scenario. Emotions are running high, the fan base is split, and the drama is building into something that the Love and Hip Hop franchise may never fully recover from. Grab some popcorn because we're going to reveal every crazy turn in this developing story. Trust us, we'll reveal the truth about what actually happened between Yandy and Erica and whether the NA allegations are true. Just becomes more messy from here. In the dim backstage lounge lighting, whispers became gasps as one of the crew members, clearly scared, hurried out of a private door. Just moments before, a heated discussion had been simmering between two ladies who had a long history of tension and unsolved issues. With the purported results of a near test going viral online, friction between Yandy Smith and Erica Mena ultimately erupted into something no one on the set could have predicted. According to many in attendance, it went beyond a simple dispute and instead became physically chaotic and completely incredibly. The drama allegedly started earlier that morning when a blog that frequently leaks celebrity rumors released what it said were dinner test documents that connected Mendeecees Harris to Erica Mendeecees' child. Screenshots of the incident went viral, and within hours, fans were speculating on social media. The most shocking aspect wasn't even the dinner results itself. Rather, it was Yandy's purported response. According to reports, when Yandy was tagged by Mendeecees and Yandy Erica in post after post demanding answers, some people were astonished, while others said they knew it coming. Things allegedly took a turn when producers confronted her with behind-the-scenes footage that appeared to show Mendeecees sneaking off set several times during filming to meet with Erica in private. At first, she reportedly didn't believe the posts and dismissed them as just another internet gimmick. According to insiders, Yandy's hands began to shake as soon as she saw it. She initially remained silent and simply stared at the screen, her lips pressed firmly together and her eyes locked in shock. Within minutes, she was leaving her seat and making her way directly to Erica's dressing room. What transpired next is where the story gets an assistant standing just outside Yandy's voice was calm but chilly. Several crew members report that Yandy stormed in without knocking. Erica was seated in front of the mirror, adjusting her cosmetics, when the door crashed against the wall, leaving the room completely silent. "You really couldn't wait, huh?" she reportedly stated in a steady but angry tone. "You had years to ask questions," she grinned after looking up, apparently undisturbed at first. According to witnesses, Yandy then rushed forward and grabbed Erica by the throat. "I just gave you answers," she allegedly answered. That's when things exploded. As the two ladies fell to the ground, security hurried in. It wasn't a catfight, rather, it was unadulterated wrath that had been building for months or perhaps years. The women's hair screamed, and makeup products flew off the counter. "You destroyed everything. You destroyed my family." By the time they were separated, Yandy's shirt was ripped at the shoulder and Erica's wig was partly off. Both of them were gasping for air, and their cheeks were flushed with emotion. When security removed Yandy off the room, Erica allegedly yelled after her, "You should be mad at him, not." The fight itself was surprising, but the aftermath was much more dramatic, according to crew members who claimed they had never seen Yandy so out of control before. Me. It reverberated loudly enough for a number of other actors to gear down the hallway. But the true revelation came just moments later when a producer whispered to one of the interns to gather all the video and secure it. It became evident that what had transpired was not only factual, rather, it was a possible legal nightmare. And behind the scenes, anxiety was growing as speculation began to circulate about who knew what and when the production had been aware of it. The rumors intensified when someone leaked a purported voicemail, purportedly from Mendeecees to Erica, in which he stated, "I can't let Yandy find out, like this, not like this." Mendeecees himself had privately confirmed the results before they were leaked. The 10-second footage was enough to send supporters into a frenzy, but the timeline didn't make up. If he had known about the child months prior, why hadn't he spoken up? And why had he allowed Yandy to learn about it through rumors? Backstage videos and blogs sparked a flurry of theories on social media, with some fans defending Mendeecees' claims that he was likely scared, while others criticized him for being dishonest and cowardly. However, it was evident that nobody had anticipated Yandy to lose it. People who had previously viewed her as the cool-headed, sensible one were now calling her unstable, emotional, and even dangerous because of what she supposedly did. Erica's response, however, was equally startling. Later that night, she went live on Instagram, and while her voice was calm, the look on her face conveyed mixed emotions. "I didn't ask for this drama," she stated, "but I did ask for the truth. And now that it's out, everyone wants to act surprised. I tried to keep it private. But he didn't leave me much of a choice." She paused, looking into the camera, and for the record she added, "I didn't make the initial move." The live stream finished as swiftly as it started, but it left viewers in shock. Her comment area was overflowing with both hate and love, with some accusing her of stirring up trouble and others applauding her for standing her own. The marijuana and splitting up a family. But where was Mendeecees in all of this? As the night wore on, his silence grew louder. He hadn't liked or shared anything, posted anything, or left a comment. Fans began tagging him in everything, pleading for a response, and the longer he remained silent, the even worse. It appeared that some of his own supporters began to turn against him, accusing him of concealing the chaos, while two women fought over a truth he ought to have acknowledged long ago. Everything was reportedly falling apart behind closed doors, and a crew member leaked the purported text exchange between Mendeecees and a producer, saying, "I need a day before I return, because this isn't just tea anymore." According to another insider, Yandy refused to film the following day and remained cooped up in her trailer, speaking to no one but herself. While everyone was reacting as though the dinner documents were real, no official statement had been made, which kept the tension high. According to someone close to her, the stylist and her sister spent the night crying, torn between humiliation and heartbreak. Some fans held on to hope. Others believed that was the last straw in Yandy and Mendeecees' already shaky relationship. But despite how crazy everything had become, it was only the beginning, since the very next morning, a new rumor starting to circulate spread a story that implied Mendeecees had more to confess than Yandy did, something Erica had been keeping on hand just in case. And someone on set said that just in case, making the NA news seem like child's play. The following morning, after Case had arrived, the set felt especially uncomfortable, like the silence after a storm that no one really survived. The crew members walked slowly, muttering in corners and exchanging glances, uncertain if today's shoot would even go forward because Yandy hadn't arrived. However, her trailer was still closed, the curtains were drawn, and there was no indication that anyone was inside. Several calls from the production team were either ignored or routed to voicemail, and the guys in DC were also absent. But Erica entered like a woman reborn, in contrast to what, despite everyone's expectations, that Erica wouldn't be hiding. She showed up with her glam team in full force, head held high, makeup faultless, and a walk that conveyed the impression of someone who had protracted struggle. Producers were unsure whether to postpone filming. However, Erica turned to face them and stated, "I'll either go live myself or roll the cameras." That was all it took for everything to change. And with the cameras rolling, Erica sat in a velvet chair with assurance. Her face was glowing in the gentle lighting as she gazed intently into the camera and spoke steadily. "What happened last night wasn't planned, but it was bound to happen," she said, and then she took out a folded piece of paper that was purposefully held and nicely wrinkled. "This is the supper." The child looked into his eyes and informed me he saw the likeness he saw in the report I sent to production a few days ago. If it's online now, it wasn't released by me. Her next words arrived like an earthquake, and the Mendeecees understood everything. Claimed he couldn't sleep until he had the truth, and when he did, he replied, "Nothing." "I asked him to," Erica said, pausing, her voice shaking just a little. The tension in the room was electric after that confession scene ended, and everyone is staring at me like I'm the villain because I told Yandy himself that the truth would hurt him more the longer he remained silent. No one had anticipated such direct and honest honesty. Confrontation with reality, but what most surprised everyone was that Mendeecees had yet to appear or utter a single word. Meanwhile, social media had gone viral, with hashtags like #Manx and #YandyErica trending on all platforms and fans sharing in a frenzy. One user wrote, "If Mendeecees ain't denying it, then maybe it's true," in response to their replies, which led to endless speculation and memes. "Yandy deserves better," another person wrote. "The person who keeps everything together when everyone else breaks down is always the last to know." Yandy had not slept, so she spent the night reading through comments as the online storm hit her in real time. She was seeing herself become the focus of a scandal that she didn't ask for when she received a brief text message just before dawn that said, "We need to talk." People were analyzing her life, relationships, and marriage. The producers approached Yandy the next afternoon and asked if she would be prepared to shoot a private section to express her side without a cast or explanation. It was from Mendeecees, and she tossed her phone at the wall after saying 4 hollow words without apology or explanation. Obstructions between her and the camera. She consented, but only if no one else would be close to the set. They acknowledged that they needed the footage and the unadulterated emotion. And when Yandy arrived, the set was set up like a confessional. Candles glowed in the background, and there was a slight hum of beautiful music. She didn't wear makeup, and although her face was exhausted, her eyes were keen with silent wrath. She sat down gently, took a big breath, and looked directly into the camera, saying, "I stood through prison, through gossip, through all this world has thrown at us, by Mendeecees through everything." She added in a sad, low voice, "And now I'm meant to just sit back and take this." She took another breath, closed her eyes for a while, and said, "If Erica is telling the truth, and I don't even know what the truth looks like anymore, then what the hell was I even fighting for all these years?" Her hands trembled a little, but she maintained her composure. "Although it's not yet, I'm sick of being the last to know, of putting out fires I didn't start, and of loving someone who might never have been honest with me." She paused for a long moment, then turned back to the camera. "I know the world is watching, but at that moment, I don't care." As the episode came to a conclusion, the team remained still and no one moved, giving the impression that time had stopped. The producers silently discussed whether to air the tape right away or to wait for the Mendeecees to respond. but that the next planned event was supposed to be a reunion-style group meal. But given the current situation, nobody was prepared, and everyone's egos were damaged. As a result, the producers asked Erica back for a follow-up meeting. The response has not yet been received. Time to address some of the more unresolved issues, giving her another opportunity to take charge of the story. Erica arrived 2 hours late, dressed in a long black coat and big sunglasses. When asked why, she grinned and replied, "I had to talk to my attorney." The internet went into a frenzy after she gave that response alone. What lawyer was she suing, and was she getting ready for a custody dispute, or worse, a public? She calmly added, "Look, I don't hate Yandy, I never did. But I was done hiding. I was done acting like I'm out here trying to destroy families. I'm not. I just want the truth to be out," before bringing up the takedown again on camera. Something startling. Mendeecees provided the report, not me. He ordered it, voluntarily provided the sample, and when the findings were in, he sobbed. The silence that followed her remarks was more powerful than any words. If Mendeecees had indeed known the truth all along and decided to keep it a secret, the producers were shocked. The betrayal wasn't just personal. It was a betrayal of all the fans, family members, even his own wife. And as the echoes of Erica's last confession started to reverberate throughout the set, the tension reached new heights. The idea that Mendeecees knew about the dinner results long before the public did hit everyone like a tidal wave, and whispers filled the production hallways as the next bomb was already ticking. Mendeecees had never been silent for this long, or in the midst of a scandal this serious before, but some crew members questioned whether he would even reveal his face again. To make matters worse, he was still missing, and even his closest friends and colleagues were unable to locate him. No one had seen him in person since the night Yandy lashed out at Erica. His phone went straight to voicemail, and his social media accounts were silent. However, it was becoming painfully obvious that the BBC wasn't hiding because he was afraid. Rather, he was hiding because he knew the storm he had created was one that could drown everyone involved, but Yandy wasn't finished. After filming her tearful sit-down, she disappeared for a full day, no calls, texts, or even posts, raising concerns among fans that she had completely lost it. However, she returned with a bang. Uploaded a mysterious slow-motion video of herself strolling down a corridor while wearing all black to her Instagram story. The caption said, "Truth always comes to light, no voice, no face, just that cold statement," and the internet went wild within. As fan pages began to speculate about whether Yandy was planning to file for divorce from Mendeecees or release her own truth bomb, producers realized that this was their chance and contacted both Yandy and Erica, offering a face-to-face meeting without any interruptions. Cuts to the two of them in a room. They anticipated Yandy would object, but to their surprise, she accepted, with the stipulation that no Mendeecees be allowed. On the day of the shoot, the tension was unbearable. Cameras were set up, security was increased, and Erica arrived 10 minutes later in a fitted white dress, her energy controlled but obviously guarded, and they sat across from each other, the air between them thick enough to cut. Every crew member knew that something explosive was about to happen from the moment that Yandy arrived, poised but unreadable. After a long pause, Erica said, "I did what I had to do because he left me out there holding the weight of this secret while playing house with me." Initially, Wendy said, "I'm not here to scream, I'm not here to fight, but I need to understand why you did this the way you did." Her tone was calm, almost too calm. "I apologize for putting you in the crossfire, but you were already there. You were just unaware of it." Yandy blinks gently as he takes in what you've said. She leaned forward a little. You could have come to me and shown me woman to woman, but instead you made a surface out of my life. I tried, but you think that going public and having the internet consume us makes you a victim. I was tired of being ignored and tired of acting as like it didn't matter. This wasn't just about the baby, it was about how he lied to both of us. The two ladies stared at each other for a long time, but there wasn't any shouting or turmoil. You wouldn't listen, you always believe anything he told you. You're not the only one he's lied to. Yandy said quietly, "This wasn't the first rumor, and if I'm being honest, I've been suspicious for a while." It was something much more raw, with two women facing the weight of betrayal from the same man. And just when it seemed like things might calm down, Yandy dropped the next bomb. However, I didn't want to believe it. Her voice cracked a little, and she looked down. "I wanted to keep our family safe and keep my peace, but lies don't bring it." Erica looked shocked. She hadn't anticipated that degree of candor, and her face softened for the first time during the conversation. So she asked Yandy as soon as the scene ended. The producers were blown away by the film, which was superior than any reality TV drama they had ever seen. I gazed up into her eyes, which were filled with a mixture of grief and strength. Now I know what healing looks like, with or without him. Fans were treated to another unexpected twist that night when a close friend of Mendeecees who had stayed silent throughout the scandal went live on Instagram. The video was unscripted and raw, but the biggest issue was still unanswered. Where was Mendeecees? I'm not here to take sides, but during the live, Dre, a close friend from the early days of music, said something that rocked the internet to its foundation. You keep wondering where Mendeecees is, and the truth is that he's been keeping quiet while attempting to find out how to clean up the wreckage. He informed me, before the results even came in, that he had a gut sense he didn't want to lose his wife. And now that he might have lost everything, he made, but to be clear, he knew about the baby. If this guy was speaking the truth, Mendeecees had knowingly let them to, as he attempted to balance two facets of his life. Yandy and Erica endured silent suffering. One fan wrote, he was playing chess while they were stuck playing survival. Another said, he didn't just break hearts, he broke trust. And that's more difficult to repair back on set. The producers were rushing to edit the following episodes because the plot had evolved. What started out as a simple twist had turned into a heartbreaking breakdown of love deceit and public backlash, and they realized they needed Mendeecees now. They sent out an official invitation, not a casual request, but a legitimate on-camera piece called Mendeecees Speaks No Edits No, because the public wanted his side more than ever, and the world needed to see the man at the center of it all finally speak. To everyone's amazement, he answered, "Yes, my team sent a short message to producers that he'll be there, but won't be answering questions he's coming to talk." That comment alone set social media on fire, and fans started counting down. There was only soft lighting, a chair, and a camera. Reddit threads analyzed body language from every scene in the episode websites that posted timelines of the entire tale. Some people supported Yandy, while others sympathized with Erica, and some even called Mendeecees the day of this tape arrived, and the set was eerily still. It felt like Judgment Day, one chair, one man, one truth, or perhaps multiple. However, before the cameras started rolling, Mendeecees called Yandy, and what he said in that the phone rang, and Yandy sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the screen, unsure whether to answer or decline. It was Mendeecees, and the name alone sent a wave of emotions, including anger, betrayal, sadness, and confusion. After a few more rings, I know I'm the last person you want to hear from," he murmured softly, almost as if he couldn't believe she had picked up. But before I was able to face everyone else, there was a long stillness on both sides. After a lengthy quiet, she murmured, You should have come to me the moment you knew, not weeks later, not after the damage you were supposed to protect me from. I know, he admitted, and I failed not just to talk to you. But she didn't answer right away. As a husband, but as a man, I was spared Yandy because I was afraid of losing you and of having to own up to my mistakes, which made me self-centered. Do you think Yandy's breath caught even comprehend the suffering you've caused me and our children? They see the headlines, hear the rumors, and I have to explain everything while you vanish, his voice cracking. I didn't vanish. I was attempting to summon the bravery to fix. This call doesn't fix anything, but maybe it's a start. However, there was another silence, and Andy finally replied, "If you're truly sorry, don't just talk to me. Say it to the world. Own it. I will." Perhaps I was too late. The call ended when he made his word that there would be no lies or filters, and a few hours later, Mendeecees arrived on set for his eagerly anticipated debut. He wore a black sweatshirt and pants and looked dapper. The camera team prepared in silence, knowing that what he was about to say might either save or ruin him. The cameras rolled, and he stared directly into the lens, took a big breath, and said, "I messed up." He was exhausted and worn down by the weight of everything as he sat in the chair beneath the bright lights. When Erica told me she was pregnant, I worried because I didn't know what to believe, and to be honest, I didn't want to accept it. There's no script here, no justifications, and I lied not only to my wife, but also to someone who deserved the truth. He hesitated before continuing, but when the results of the dinner test confirmed what I was too scared to believe, I froze and told him. I knew what it would cost me because you and Yandy and I had already been through so much. And the idea of bringing a secret like that into our lives felt like a death sentence to everything we built. I kept lying, telling Erica to wait, telling myself that the truth could wait. But it didn't, and it burst as I needed time to figure out how to break it to Yandy. In reality, though, I was buying time for myself because I didn't want to lose the life I had. Fans all across the world watched in shock as his confession flowed out. This wasn't the BCs they were accustomed to seeing, composed and in control. Instead, they saw a broken man dealing with the fallout from his own devastation. He went home, and if you're reading this, I apologize, but I don't expect forgiveness. He then addressed Erica, saying, "I would owe you an apology for not being a man from the beginning for leaving you to carry this. Don't expect things to return to how they were, but know that everything I did was motivated by fear rather than malice. I was afraid of losing you, but I see now that I lost you anyhow." By the time he finished speaking, Mendeecees' voice was hardly audible. He looked directly into the camera one more time and stated, "No more lies, no more silence." He said, "No child deserves to grow up in the middle of this mess, and I'll do whatever it takes to be there for my child." The time has come to confront everything. Nobody knew what would happen next as the team packed up the studio, but they did know that this moment would go down in hip-hop and love history when the episode aired just days later. Later, social media was ablaze with debates and emotional reactions, and fans were split. Some applauded males for finally taking responsibility, while others criticized them for doing it too late. Hashtags like Yandy serves better #T, and #Mendeecees revelation went viral for hours. But the biggest surprise came from Yandy herself, not from fans, when she sent a long statement on Instagram the day after the show aired. "I don't know what the future holds for us, and I'm not ready to make any decisions, but I do know that my worth is not tied to anything." Hearing him say his truth hurt more than I anticipated, but it also brought me a strange kind of closure. Not peace quite yet, but something close. Someone else's errors, and I will never allow betrayal to break me. Erica also replied with a video of herself, crying as she sat in her car. "I didn't do this to destroy lives. Rather, I did it because I was fed up with, in a surprising turn of events. Both women who were once fierce adversaries started following each other on Instagram again. I've made mistakes too, but my child didn't ask for this. All I want is peace for myself, my child, and all of us. Producers intimated that the upcoming season would feature a new kind of dynamic between Yandy and Erica. Not friends nor foes, simply two women learning to coexist after weathering the same storm, even though no words were said publicly. The story may have begun with treachery, secrecy, and upheaval, but according to DC's sources, he has started private counseling and is attempting to Mendeecees his connection with both women, beginning with being a father to the child he previously denied. Fans were tight to every update, message, and hint about what would happen because, despite the fact that apologies were made, the wounds were still raw, and it would take much longer to reestablish confidence in the wake of something different. After the truth is revealed and everything has changed, three lives continue to alter in the silent aftermath as they attempt to understand what it means to move on. This whole issue has been an emotional roller coaster, ranging from a covert net test to furious confrontations to fans are still in disbelief by Mendeecees' bombshell confession, Yandy's unvarnished and forceful response, Erica Mendeecees' heartfelt request for peace, and the fact that all the dirty laundry is now public. Breakdowns. This drama has rocked the love and hip-hop world to its foundation. The true question is what will happen next. Can Yandy and Mendeecees ever Mendeecees what has been damaged? Can Erica and Yandy find common ground after years of conflict and treachery? Or is this simply the quiet before a storm that is about to blow up? One thing is certain, though. The next chapter might offer anything from healing and reconciliation to even more startling turns. We've seen relationships fail before, but we've also seen love and strength flourish. The narrative is far from complete, with so many emotions still raw and trust hanging by a thread. Only time will tell if these three can rise above the ashes, or if this drama is just beginning. But we want to hear from you now. Which side do you support? Do you believe Mindy deserves forgiveness? Will Yandy ever be forgiven? We know you have ideas about this crazy issue, so please share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that. Trust him again. What about Erica? Was she right to come forward with the truth, or should she have handled it differently? To ensure you don't miss any of the most recent reality K-drama updates, turn on the notification bell. Mysteries and scandals, stay tuned for much more thrilling tales. Fans were astounded by his own arrival, which is imminent and deserves love rather than controversy. Going public in that way was a powerful statement from the mother, and the closest thing to a definitive proof that the child was fact his. And suddenly the story changed once more from what started as the rumor had now turned into a full-fledged public relationship breakdown with legal repercussions, damaged trust, and Mendeecees, previously calm and esteemed reputations, have been ruined in every way. Figure had been diminished to a man encircled by regret, quiet, and unresolved inquiries. Yandy, who had remained at his side during the trials and scandals, had left with hardly a word, and Erica, who stood up for her son's truth, had faded from the public eye, perhaps permanently, as the dust started to resolve a single question that persisted above all others. What would happen next? Would Yandy ever return to the show to win back the public's faith, or had she ultimately tired of the cameras, the drama, and the betrayals? Would Erica hide her identity and resume speaking? Or would, since no one had the answers, she decided to raise her kid in silence, distant from the world that had completely upended her life? However, there was no doubt that the narrative was far from done, and just like that, everything we believed to be true was completely turned upside down. From subtle rumors to shocking disclosures, there have been unexpected turns in the scandal, and nobody could have foreseen Erica's tears. A picture of a family ripped apart is painted by the Mendeecees breakdown and Yandy's silence. By truth, secrets, and the results of decisions that couldn't be kept hidden, the leaped nail results showed more than just the father of a child. They also showed rifts in loyalty and trust that could fans of never fully heal are still inquiring. How did one get to this point? The woman's subdued assertion ultimately shakes Mendeecees' world to its core. And where do they all go from here? Is there a way forward now that the truth is out there as much as we've seen? Will Erica speak again in the future for Mendeecees and Yandy, or is this the end? Given the narrative for all parties concerned, we would like to know if you think Mendeecees is prepared to take over and accept accountability. Was Yandy justified in leaving? Is Erica a victim? Leave your thoughts in the comments section without holding back, whether you're a manipulator or just a mother defending her child's identity. Beyond just drama, this novel is about identity betrayal, and if you've been watching every development, don't forget to like this video and make sure you understand the emotional cost of public life. Turn on your notifications and click the subscribe